short and tight, and that's going to turn this buddy off, okay? So here's the cascade effect. When the TFL is tight, because it's attached to the IT band, what is a connective band of tissue, okay, it's not a muscle. Here's the IT band here, you guys see that? So it's going to pull on the IT band. And the IT band goes from the hip, it's connected from the hip all the way to the knee, okay? So that's going to be short and tight. And what do we do to a short and tight IT band? We beat it into submission by rolling it, right? We go to massage therapists and just say, can you work this out? That is not going to get better. Maybe temporarily it feels good, but it's not going to get better until we turn on the glute med, okay? So IT band is tight. And another, I'll come back to the slide, but let me show you the thigh muscles here, because you guys can see the IT band. I'll use my pointer. See the IT band? So you guys know what quads are, right? Everyone knows what four. So there are actually 4 heads to the quad, okay? The lateral, or the outside part of the leg that's closest to the IT band is also going to be tight and short. Does that make sense? Just because of the proximity it has to the IT band. Now the inside quad is going to be deactivated or not turned on, not working. So what do you guys think if you think about it pure mechanically speaking? What happens when this side of the leg is super tight? What is it going to do to the kneecap? Pull it which way? Exactly. So it's going to pull the kneecap this way. And if this is not activated or it's not turned on, then it's not going to help to pull the kneecap back to the center. So that's where you have the runner's knee. Does that make sense? So we have to find ways to strengthen the inside quad and also the adductor groups, which are the inner thighs, as well as this is a different side, but this quad here. Does that make sense? So going back to this slide here, the IT band is pulling the kneecap off to the side, and then it's also going down to the calf, down to the foot, plantar fasciitis, right? That's when you kind of lose the arch of your foot, and you have a flat foot there, and then your foot starts to pronate, so it turns out a little bit. And we'll go through a scenario there too. But again, do you see how it goes down and up the chain? And remember, even if we had a right glute that wasn't turned off, it's not turned on, then it will go cross over this way and go to the opposite lat. Does that all make sense? Is that making sense, or is this like good? Y'all have questions so far? Y'all are like awesome. Okay. I like it. All right. Let's see what else. So another thing with the glute, and we didn't talk about, I didn't hear, anybody have hamstring problems? Pulled hamstring ever? Tightness? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know how I said muscles are, when they're close together, if one's turned off, the other one will do its function. So with glutes, okay, what's going to propel you forward if your glute's not working? Hamstrings. And therein lies the problem, right? You get hamstring strains, you get hamstring pulls. Another issue, low back. Anybody have low back pain after they run? Sometimes, yeah? Okay. So if another compensator, remember we're not in this position, this is extensors. So then your low back starts to activate and take the slack for the glutes that aren't working as well. Okay. Now everybody stand up. I know you got comfortable, but it's not about being comfortable. Okay, everybody stand with your feet hip width apart and lean forward up on your tippy toes. Don't fall over, but just lean forward. What muscle is working to bring you back into center? What do you feel? What's engaging? Keep your torso nice and tall. What's working? You guys feel this?
Kind of point to where you feel it.
Point to where you feel it. Yes.
Yeah.
Hip flexors.
Right here.
Okay, so the hip flexors help you stand up nice and tall here. Y'all feel those, okay? Now everybody lean to the right. All right, this is a trick question. Identify 2 muscles that you feel that are going to bring you back into center. Oh, what? Did they say?
Inside quad.
Inside the thigh.
Wow, I didn't think I was going to get that. Okay, that's
Feel
one.
it.
I feel it. Okay, it's working.
And then
Okay.
pull back to feel the inner thigh.
What else?
Abs.
That one works?
Core.
Yes. Okay, she won. What's your name? Cynthia. Great job. Okay, y'all can have a seat. Okay, so Cynthia said, and she was correct. Did both Niraj got one. Nice job, Niraj. So when you lean this way, you have this right glute med, but then you have the opposite inner thigh. Okay? And that's what we see too here, patterns. So a lot of times when this glute is turned off, it's going to correlate to this inner thigh that's not working too. You have a strong and weak pair most of the time. But that's also important with running, okay? Opposite to level out and stabilize the pelvis. So that was just a little example of what your adductors were. Nice job, y'all. The domino effect. Do y'all see what's happening here? So you can either start from the bottom of the foot and work your way up, or you can start with a hip problem or a butt problem and work your way down and up the chain, depending on what scenario it is. But your body's just trying to help you out. All right, a common hip limitation. You guys see this guy here? Now talking about plantar fasciitis. This arch is dropped, okay? Flat foot. There's no arch there to support the spring from heel to the toe with the gait. So it's flat-footed, and what happens is the foot starts to turn out this way. You see it there. The knee, so foot turns out this way. The knee rotates in the opposite direction. We'll get to that. The knee rotates in the opposite direction, and then it works its way up the chain, and now the pelvis tilts. It drops. It sinks. The butt stops working. Okay, so you can either say, well, the butt wasn't on first, so then it translates down this way, or you can say, my gait was messed up, and it started from the bottom, and it worked its way up to the butt. So remember that chain that goes across the body like this from the beginning? So now this glute is deactivated, and it's going to pull and make this side nice and tight, recruit more of the lat, causing the shoulder to drop. Does that make sense? It's pretty interesting, right? I mean, how the body works. Or I think it is, but I'm kind of... So what happens if we are overused? Whoever does it with the running? It's a true confession. Okay, so we overuse. Maybe we run too much. We don't do enough cross training. Maybe we run poorly. Maybe we're not using the right mechanics. You know, gaits maybe a little bit. Maybe we limp. Maybe we, you see lots of people run different ways, right? Maybe we have weak muscles. Maybe the muscles that should be working aren't working, and they're recruiting other muscles that's not their function. Sitting too much, we went over that. Okay, short hip flexors, always in a flex position in this society when we need to get more an extension. And so that's going to compensate. Our body's really good at doing that. And then that's going to lead to pain. Okay, so when we're in pain, our deep core, like Sandy mentioned, our deep core stabilizers, that's the first thing to go. That's going to shut down, and it's protecting our body. Our body thinks it's protecting itself by shutting down the deep core stabilizers. So it is important to breathe and to activate the deep core first before you do anything else. That's for another workshop, though. We can go into that in a lot more detail, which we'll do later if you guys are interested in that. But any type of pain, it's going to just remember it deactivates. Okay, so listen to your body. Stop running if you have too much pain, but realize the dysfunctions that can happen up and down the chain with that. And then, of course, deactivation of the muscle. All right, I think that's it. Now, the next thing we're going to do, does anybody have any questions on the anatomy?
I just had a question. Also, like, I've noticed when you run on certain surfaces too long, that's how my hip problem started, was like the road is sloped, and running the same direction on the slope thing can cause some of those body mechanic problems.
Right, you see if you're running on a slope, it's like you're already at a disadvantage because that pelvis is already tilted or your foot's already turned, it's turning to the side. So yes, the surface of your running, where you end, maybe you're doing track and you're always turning, going short on that one turn, or maybe it's the crowning of the road. You're always running on the left, so that's lower than the right. So it's the crowning. So that's a common imbalance that
100%. Is
something to consider. So that's very important to keep in mind about. It's not might not be your body, but it's a surface that we run on that can
Mhm.
throw you and have some limitations.
That's
So
a good
I
point,
had a good
yeah,
point.
because it should be environment up here too.
Yeah,
Because
cause
if you-
that's how mine was.
That's
my
how you
hip
got
started
yours.
bothering me from running on.
That's
I-
interesting.
Quantico way, but the road was like this. So I
Yeah.
I tried to do circles and come back to do the opposite way.
So you can run out. That's a good point, Betty, yeah, that's
So
good.
what if you have high arch?
What if you have a high arch?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually have a high arch
Because
too.
I have very high arch.
Okay, and so instead of pronating or your foot going off to the side, it's just opposite this.
Yeah.
So think about,
So
so now this foot, whoops. Now this foot, instead of turning out, goes in, then your knee rotates the other way. So it's this, I won't want to say it's the same, but the problems are just reversed. And so we can talk to you a little bit more too when we go through the exercises on how to correct that. And I do want to say I'm going to do a foot presentation next for runners or for anybody, and we'll get into more of that. So your foot actually supinates instead of pronates. So that's a good question. Yes?
Yeah, I got another question about the slope of the road. If you're used to running on the left side, of course I try and run in the middle as much as possible if there's no cars. But in a race, if it's a crowded race, especially a marathon, and you can't run in the middle, do you advise to run on the left, or are you asking for trouble since you never run on the right side, the slope on the right side during say a marathon?
I'm going to let Sandy
Well,
answer that.
so in a race, it's just, you have that 26.2 or 13.1, that distance. So if that's just the one time, it may or may not affect you. However, what we've been discussing about the chain of muscles, so if you have these poor mechanics going on, so it may be over time, all these mileage, not just that race day mileage, but the mileage leading up to that point, if there's been some imbalance and your body got used to, so you're running on the left side, the left side is lower than the right, yes. So, and you go, and then you go to what's level, but your body is not used to that. So you may find race days, different things going on, whether it's a pull or a strain or something, because your muscles suddenly went long because it's been short. So it could occur. You have to be careful. I can't say that race day, I wouldn't say that don't go on the right side of the road. Sometimes you have to do what's safe, and if that's the only open spot and you are ready to go. But there's ways to resolve that. We are speaking about working the glute, the glute max, the glute med, the adduction, whatever muscles to really zone in on to train them so that you're ready for any kind of imbalance, whether it's environment or otherwise. So that's why we talk about, from the get-go, you're training with muscle strength with your running mileage. So that way when you take each impact of the footfall, that you're prepared for whatever surface that you're going to tackle. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One thing that's helped me in races, if I run across some kind of pain, especially deep in a race like mile 18, I'll intentionally supinate or intentionally pronate for a mile, and then often I find that pain goes away just because I'm hitting the surface differently and using different muscles. That's just something that's worked
Yeah.
for me.
Mm-hmm. And that, like Mimi was talking about, whether you're going from the foot up or from the hips down, knowing what muscles are working. And that's what a lot of our education for tonight is, knowing what's working and why and how. And you want to make sure those muscles are prepared for, if you do decide to do something like that, to supinate or pronate, to make sure that your body is ready for that
Prepared
for
for that.
18 miles and beyond.
Yeah, because
When
I would
fatigue
say
sets
not
in.
everybody should do that. I think
No.
if it works well for you, then keep doing it. But then you can get into other problems if the muscles aren't. Yeah.
Sure.
So you gotta assess your own body, or let us help you do that before you decide to change your pattern of your foot. But I'm pretty sure y'all know that.
Any other questions? These are
Any
great
more?
questions.
Yeah, they're really good.
And the pain that I have is on my Achilles,
Mhm.
And
Right here.
Yeah. But that good thing about it is it's not increasing or decreasing. But I'm able to maintain my weekly miles.
But it's still there.
But it's still there. If I press, and I know it's going to hurt me.
Yeah, and a lot of times the people with tight Achilles is because glutes are shut off, so hamstrings are taking over.
Yeah.
And then the hamstrings connect under